would you describe Putin as a revolutionary? Not really. I mean, I wouldn't necessarily. I mean, there are things he does that are certainly revolutionary. He supports Venezuela. That's revolutionary. He supports Cuba. That's revolutionary. He supports Nicaragua. That's revolutionary. He's supporting the people of Eastern Ukraine and their right, to not be bombarded and to resist the fascism in Kiev, the forces that are tearing down World War II memorials and outlawing their language. He's standing with them and mobilizing the country to support them against the attacks from the United States. That's revolutionary. But no, Putin didn't come to power in a revolution. He came to power as kind of a Bonapartist because Russia was in such a mess in the 1990s that the remnants of the old Soviet bureaucracy, the state-run industries, the security services, they stepped up and they said, we got to save the country. The country was being devastated by free market neoliberalism. And Putin was somebody who was in with the security services. He was in with the old, state bureaucracy. He was patriotic to the country. He'd been involved in fighting against the Chechen separatist terrorists. And he was somebody to get the job done. And he doesn't, Putin has said many times that anyone who doesn't mourn the loss of the Soviet Union has no heart, but anyone who wants to restore the Soviet Union has no brain. He doesn't want to bring back the Soviet Union. He doesn't believe in Marxism anymore, though he draws heavily from it. And, he's talked about that. He's influenced by it, but he's also critical by it. The Soviet Union is a big part of Putin's political heritage, but he rejects Marxism in a lot of ways. Right? If you listen to Putin talk, he's Putin, right? And that he represents a lot of different class forces that want Russia to continue developing and getting stronger as a country and are rejecting the dominance of Western capitalism. And part of that is the heritage of the Soviet Union. Part of that is the, Russian capitalism and the market sector that exists. Part of that is the state bureaucracy, the state-run industries. Part of that is the Russian Orthodox Church. Putin represents a very big coalition of broad class forces in Russia that want Russia to flourish. And the Western imperialists want to crush Russia. And Putin is in an alliance with all the communists around the world. And I've said this many, many times, right? And people get all fired up and insist this isn't true. Well, it's true. Real communists in this world support Russia. All right? North Korea, communist-led country. They support Russia. Nicaragua, communist-led country, run by the Sandinistas. They support Russia. Venezuela, communist-led country, led by Maduro, the United Socialist Party, they support Russia. China, led by the Communist Party, they support Russia. Vietnam, led by the Communist Party, they support Russia. Huge Communist Party in Angola, the MPLA, they've got good relations with Russia. Huge Communist Party in South Africa, the ANC, good relations with Russia. The African National Congress and the South African Communist Party, they support Russia. Right? India, there's a huge Communist Party, the Communist Party of India, Marxist. They run Kerala. They support Russia. Real communists in the world, the real communist parties in the world that have millions of members, that have seats in parliaments, that are actually running governments, they support Russia. Your stupid fucking Western leftists that all they talk about is LGBT and all they care about is yelling at their parents for being, you're racist, mom and dad, you're racist, you're racist, I'm not going to listen to you. They don't support Russia, right? Your bread tube, synthetic left, I'm going to, do a 40-minute video on why this Netflix movie I like is actually showing something that's vaguely Marxist. They don't support Russia, but actual communists in the world support Russia. That is a fact, right? I mean, go to international communist gatherings. The real communist parties with deep roots among the masses, they support Russia, okay? Stupid Western liberal kids don't support Russia, and they don't represent the global communist movement. They don't. And, you can deny that all you want, and you can point to one example here or one example there. Doesn't matter. Real communists in this world support Russia. The real communist movement that turned Russia and China into superpowers, that made Cuba, a country that's the envy of the world for its healthcare system, they support Russia. Overwhelmingly, they support Russia. The communists of the world support Russia. That is a fact, okay? And it drives me up the wall that people don't know this. If you were to say this, people talk to you like you're stupid. Oh, that's idiotic. No communist could ever support Russia. They do. I've been to Russia. I have been to the Yalta Economic Forum. I have been to the World Conference of Parliamentarians. I have been to the World Festival of Youth and Students, not just the one in Sochi, Russia, but also the one in Ecuador. This is a fact. Okay. The overwhelming majority of the global communist movement supports Russia. Okay. And your liberal Western hipster kids and your nerdy, academic people who, read a lot of books and go to NYU or go to Left Forum, they don't represent the global communist movement. The real communist movement is a movement of working people who are fighting for their lives. Working people in Nicaragua, working people in Venezuela, working people in India, working people on the Korean Peninsula, working people in China. And they wear uniforms and they wear suits and ties and they love their countries and they love their homeland and they love their families and they hate the international bankers and they hate the global monopoly capitalist system and they love China and the Belt and Road Initiative and they love Russia and the Eurasian Economic Union and they love Bolivarian socialism in Latin America. That communist movement, that is what I'm loyal to. That's the communist movement to which I have loyalty to. Right? That's my communism. And my communism, the real communist movement in the world, they support Russia. And so I support Russia. That's a fact. You know what I mean? The real communist movement in the world supports Russia, and the fake CIA-controlled woke hipster bullshit doesn't support Russia. And you can think you're so smart and go, oh, that's retarded. No communist would ever support Russia. Russia has income inequality. Shut up, okay? You don't know what you're talking about. You don't fucking know what you're talking about. All right. And you can talk about how small. Oh, I know Marxism. No Marxist could ever support Russia. You can say that. Okay. And you can say that. You can talk out of your ass all you want about Russia being right wing and all this. I am telling you actual facts. I have seen it. I have talked to these people. In Venezuela, they support Russia. In Vietnam, they support Russia. In China, they support Russia. In Cuba, they support Russia. In North Korea, they support Russia. In the People's Republic of Donetsk, they support Russia. In the People's Republic of Lugansk, they support Russia. In Belarus, they support Russia. I mean, in Kerala, they support Russia. In South Africa, they support Russia. In Angola, they support Russia. Real communists support Russia. And I don't care how smart you think you are. It's just a fucking fact. And I'm sorry it doesn't fit the view of the world that you have, okay? It doesn't match your Western chauvinist lens through which you interpret the world, where communists are good people who talk about trans all day long, and fascists are people that attend church and love their homelands. That's not how the rest of the world sees this. That is not how the rest of the world sees this, okay? What communism means to oppressed people that are fighting for their rights, and what communism means to Western liberal hipster kids are completely different, right? And exactly, ThinkPad, so none of those are real communists, says some trot. He's a real communist. Good for him. Good for him. I'm glad he feels that way. But in reality, there is a real communist movement in this world that is attached to real socialist governments and real big communist parties, and they support Russia. And call me stupid, make fun of me, talk to me like an idiot. I'm 34 years old. I've traveled to many countries in the world. I work for international television. I've been there. I've seen it. I've studied all this stuff. I know what I'm talking about. And yes, the overwhelming majority of the international communist movement supports Russia. And no, you don't know better than them because you watched Rachel Maddow. Okay? And deny it all you want.